but clearly she can't wait to speak on the mic because her and the mic are one. I think that is a true love.
We are one.
Yes, indeed. Simunye.
I'm telling you. How you doing, Mo? Friday. It's Friday.
And there she is blowing my entire intro out the water. I mean, isn't that just beautiful? So I'll keep it this one very, very short. We got to meet her in 2003, right?
Correct.
On Pop Stars when Jamali was formed. Her name is Mariechan. She blew up thanks to Pop Stars. And over the years, she has morphed herself into a beautiful solo effort. And she joins us today on My First Hit.
I love that word, effort. It's still an effort.
It must be. It must be. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Mo.
Your energy is just electric.
It has to be.
My word.
I mean, I wake up, with a teenager that's always sour. So somebody's got to keep the spunk.
Yeah. But a lot of it is also what comes naturally for you, which I've just picked up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take it back to where it all began. Okay. In 2003, when you guys dropped your first project as Jamali, and by the way, I mean, we're debating with my producer as to which song from that album to go with, because that album, by the way, it sold pretty well. Back in the day,
I think
when
it's platinum now.
I mean, that's wild. And this is back in the day when there were no digital copies. So this is hard copy CD.
Hard copies, absolutely.
And cassette.
Yep. Absolutely.
And cassette. And you guys absolutely killed it. So
thank you.
We've landed on Love Me For Me.
I mean, it is the classic. That one is the most nostalgic. But I think there's a lot of people that would also say Butterflies, Secrets. There's too many, bro.
There's too many.
But Love Me For Me, I would say, is the one that probably stands out the most.
Absolutely. And I'm sure Jackie and Liesel would agree with you on that one.
Absolutely.
So let's start there. Take you back. Take you down memory lane. Literally 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years.
Right? Here's Jamali. Love Me For Me. I've always wanted to do that, by the way.
And now you finally got your moment, your debut.
I'm not the girl that you see in the magazine. Perfect.
Jamali on 947, Love Me For Me. The album is Jamali. It came out as the debut album where Mariechan and
when
Jackie...
we lost the competition.
Liesel.
We lost the competition because girls vote for boys. We really lost.
Let's talk about that. Because yes, it's true. You guys were runners-up to Ghetto Lingo.
That's correct.
Which was the boy band.
Yep.
Now, there was a talent search competition called Pop Stars, right? And it was literally that, searching for the finest talents to put together in a group and let fly and go out there in the world.
Yeah.
What was happening in your life here, Mariechan? Because you were what, 21?
No, we were much younger.
Much younger
I think
than
we
that.
were like 19.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were around 19 years old. I'm originally from Cape Town, so I mean, in Stellenbosch at the time, I still had my 9-to-5 job. I was still taking a leap year after matric because I still needed to figure out what was I going to do.
What was your 9-to-5?
I'm not going to say on air, but...
No, I mean, it's okay.
I just know I was at the fitting room.
Oh, you were in retail?
I was in retail.
Oh, at a clothing store?
It was at Woolworths, okay? It was at Woolworths. It's not bad.
Wow.
It's not bad.
Wow.
But, no, it's bad.
No, it's not bad.
But, and I just needed to figure out what I wanted to do because, my dad had an issue with me wanting to do music. Because, when you come from a small town, the folks there, they think that everything needs to be academic, man. It's you have to either be a doctor or a secretary or human resource or business person, something to that effect. But music was completely foreign to my dad. He was like, you're not going to make music. You're just going to be broke. Do you want to be a broke star?
So how did you then navigate that?
I found out about the competition via my cousin while I was working. And he said to me, should I pick you up after work? I'm like, well, I mean, how are we going to go to Cape Town when we found out that the auditions were happening? And he's like, well, I can steal my dad's car. We just need to put in like 20 Rand petrol. Back then we could put in so
20
little
Rand petrol?
20 Rand petrol to go from Stellenbosch to Cape Town for an audition. I said, I am in. I've got $20 on me. Fetch me from work. And that's how it happened. He literally fetched me from work. We went to the auditions. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone in my family for that matter.
Yeah.
Only my cousin knew. And I told him to just keep it zip. And And that day, I just like flourished through. I was actually the last person to arrive. There was no one anymore. The gates were closed.
Wow.
Security was telling me to turn back. And I'm like, brother, I just came from Stellenbosch and I gave my cousin my last $20.
Yeah, you're like, do you want a bottle of wine?
Like, literally, please. And I just heard someone over the intercom say, who's that? Who's there? And then he was like, oh, no, it's just someone that wants to come and audition, but I told them it's closed. And then one of the judges actually over the intercom said, no, just let her through.
Who was that judge?
I can't even remember. Hey, I don't want to lie. It might have been Azania.
Yeah.
Might have been her. Or Zwei. I can't remember which one.
Yes.
And then it's just let her through, let her just come. I mean, we might as well, she's the last person. And I don't think they had a great day, of contestants.
So they had to let all the rubbish in.
I am telling you. And I went there and I stood on the carpet. It was empty. It was an empty room, like an empty studio. And I felt so anxious, and I stood on that little Coca-Cola Pop Stars carpet, and they told me to sing. And then the minute I was like, starting to sing this Monica song, Before You Walk Out My Life, here we are face to face. I just did that, and they said, stop. And I thought, oh my God, this is horrible. It's horrible. They stopped me, and I didn't even sing it, and they said, through to the next round.
Done.
She
took us back to where it all began at Woolies. And then
you have to say Woolies again. I thought, love me for me.
And then she rushed from Stellenbosch to Cape Town to audition for Pop Stars, and they gave her the green light to proceed to the next round. And all of a sudden, Jamali is born 20 years ago. So you guys are celebrating 20 years.
20 years. I mean, we decided, that even though we are not a group anymore, we made a pact that when 20 years hits, that we would do something like amazing for our fans. And this is it, the 20-year celebration. We want to do 20 shows. We've bagged about, I would say, 10 for now. We will probably still get to the other 10. So that's what we wanted to do, just celebrate our 20th anniversary with our fans, and hopefully also doing like a little track for them. Not to release projects or put hope out there, but just something to show our gratitude.
Do you ever get that where people say, no man, Mauritian, when is Jamali's next album coming
absolutely.
out? Does Liesl and Jackie also get that as well?
Yeah, they do. And they want albums, and we're like, oh, gosh, guys, the album might not happen, but a single might happen.
Right. And once the single comes, then why can't we just continue?
We probably could. I mean, we'll see, I think our lives have just grown in different directions as individuals. And it's quite broad, for each girl. But I think when we do come together, we make time, for this. We make time, but it's not a guarantee that we can, do this again.
Sure.
Because I'm going to be traveling. Liesl's always traveling. Liesl just got back from Dubai. She was there for like 6 months. So you can't stop someone from the things that they want to pursue as an individual. So I think when you are in a group, you have to really, like what we did for a good 12 years. We like locked down and we were completely committed to the group. So we didn't pursue anything else outside of that.
What did that feel like? Because when you say commitment, I mean, it's like you're bound, and it's a bond,
you are
right?
Bound. Yeah.
And I don't know if every other group can do that. I don't know if every other group and their group members can commit to something like that. Was it an easy commitment to make, knowing that, hey man, but I know in my heart that I could actually go and break away solo?
I mean, if you make good money together, the money is great motivation.
Yeah. No, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So for us, yes, there was great synergy already. And even though we were so different, and there were differences, trust me. I mean, the saying, three's a crowd.
Yeah.
So there were definitely some cattish moments.
Like what? Like what would you guys fight about?
Like,
what's the one you remember? Yeah?
Outfits. Like, I don't want to wear that color. No, but I like this color. Oh, but I don't want to wear that. It's too risque. I'm not that kind of person. I'm more this and I'm more conservative. So it's like little things going back and forth like that. Like really like girls. Like little girls like just bickering over.
Yeah.
Like who must do this and who must do that and who is the best at this and who is the best at that. So for us, at the end of the day, we just came together and we thought, okay, the only way this can work is if we are embracing all the differences and each person's strength.
Sure.
Okay, so you are great with that Mariah whistle note. You are great here, and Mariechan, you are great there. Jackie, you are the performer. That's how we found the thing that works for us and for us to push through. Because also the money, like I said, the money was motivation. So we saw this could really be profitable for us, but we have to like stick to our guns and not let outside forces influence our connection.
So what's it like performing together now? I mean, I was on your Instagram and I saw you guys performed, and you said it was at the State Theatre.
I was at the State Theatre,
in Pretoria, right?
In Pretoria, yeah.
What was it like performing with Jamali now versus then? I mean, are the moves still there? Like what's?
I mean, my knees hurt. Lisa and I were complaining about, some back aches. Jackie said that her knees hurt as well, but she was cracking all the moves still. I would say, Jackie pretty much stayed on point ever since. Talking for myself, I don't know. I feel like I was a little bit, slow, but they'll see it on my Instagram who was the energy bunnies and who weren't. That's all the proof.
Is it slow or we're just cruising? Because now you're in cruise mode.
I think for me, it's like the aim is not to sweat anymore. I've done it, So now I'm just like I just want to look cool and look smooth and sexy and, just that hot mama vibes. So, I think it was maybe a cruise vibe for us. But it was still the same. I would say the connection that we had on the stage, the synergy was still the same. It's like that never left.
Beautiful. And the great thing, as you alluded, is the fact that people can still check Jamali perform one day. And there might be a single one day. But at this point, the performances, you're glad and happy to do that as a group, as long as everybody's around.
Absolutely. As long as everyone is, committed and doing this, that's what we committed to. So it's definitely going to be happening. So they just have to stay tuned to our social media to see updates for the next performance.
And you share everything the same way. I mean, for example, with booking fees, etc., was it 3 ways or were there fights?
It was always 3 ways. Always. We fight even over that.
Who wants 50%? Is it you?
I mean, I'm going to say that you are not, incorrect.
So you always wanted half the cash.
No.
And now it's like...
it's about the amount of work that we put in, and it has to be split fairly between the three of us because we all put in the same amount of work. But for this one, the State Theatre one, I would say Jackie put in most of the effort. The show actually it came through her, and she had set everything up. So, in that regard, yes, she is entitled to whatever it is that she's getting.
Okay, so if you get the gig, for example, if it comes through you, then you get the lion's share.
You get a lion's share,
because it's like a finder's fee.
Absolutely.
I love this.
So, you know what? Holla at me. Go to my Instagram, holla at me so I can also get a booking.
Jamali's open for bookings, ladies and gentlemen. Start sending in your inquiries. You're in for My First Hit. We bring in South Africa's finest artists, and we chat about where it all began and where they're at now. Today we're hanging out with the fabulous Mariechan, who from the days of Jamali and splitting, performance, booking, cash and all the fame, went solo. What's that been like?
It's been amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a thrill. I think for all of us, because it was an organic decision for us to go and explore.
Whose idea was it for the solo game? As a group, for example, were you the first to raise your hand and said, "All right, guys, I'm Beyonce, I'm out"?
No, it was actually all three of us. We just came together because each girl started getting more busy in the individual capacity.
Right.
I think at the time Lizzo recorded something with Tear Gas, and it was a song that also, it was a big hit that she did with Tear Gas. And Jackie also, I think, recorded an album at that point and was called into doing some acting work. So both of them wanted to go and explore that. I think I was probably the only one that didn't know what the hell I was going to do after Jamali.
Really?
I was like, guys, if you leave me, I'm going to be broke. Don't leave.
So then, what did you do in terms of figuring out what direction to take musically as a solo artist? How to even come out?
The only thing that I knew the only thing I knew very well, let me rather say it like that, very well, and that I had control over was my voice. And I started doing a lot of like free session work.
By free, what do you mean? So
I would be called up to come and do some vocals,
right,
you know, or BVs or whatever it is, and usually I would charge for those things, but then I decided let me not charge because, you know, the group split, and I'm trying to like carve my own solo path here, and rebrand as Mariechan, you know, the solo artist. So I just figured let me just do a couple of, you know, charity work, even though I'm the charity. Do some charity work.
You'll take anything.
And then, you know, and then it slowly but surely started like picking up for me in terms of like artists, the ones that were popping at the time, from your Ricky Ricks, Reason, Shekinah, everybody, they were all popping artists.
Yes.
They would all come to me and like want to work, and that just happened by default and purely because your voice, and we were a fan. Can we please work? Because at the time when I was with the group, I couldn't work with anyone outside of Jamali.
Was that what the contract said?
Yeah, it had to be like that.
Woo, okay.
So everything was a group effort.
Oh.
So now that I was a solo artist, now I could go and feature on projects and things like that.
Yeah.
So these artists all started coming out of the woodworks, and I was like, oh my gosh, this one contacted me, that one contacted me.
Wow.
And then boom, I started making music with all of them, and that's how it started like becoming back on people's radar.
Sure.
And people booked me more as a solo artist, and now I'm here.
Because this
with
song,
Mo Flava.
That's right, baby girl. I mean, this song different. I mean, it's a stunning song.
You know,
This is one of your favorite features?
one of my top 3. Yeah, with this one, the Shekinah.
Just sounds so international as well, yeah? Like, just like...
That was the aim. International, baby.
So then would you say being a featured artist gave you great value in starting your solo career? Because
absolutely.
I'm looking also at your oeuvre as an artist, your collection of work.
Yeah.
I've counted only 2 EPs that you brought out.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking, no, but her voice is everywhere. So whose songs are those? You know what I'm saying?
Not mine.
It's like, she's like 10 albums later. No.
I know, 2 EPs only.
You know what I mean?
I know, I had to take my time. You know, when you're in a group for that long, because it was actually longer than 12 years. You know, it was just 12 years performing as a group. But we would still get together after that and do some corporate stuff together. But it was very difficult for me to find the sound that sets me apart from the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you were packaged and everything for the group, and that was the sound. It was a pop sound. So even as an individual, when people look at you and they meet you in the street, it's like, hey, Mariechan, Jamali. Like, you know, or they don't even call you by your name. They just like, there's Jamali.
Yeah.
Or there's Love Me For Me. And that's what we were known for, and that sound. I needed to figure out still what was my sound, because I didn't know. I've never been in a studio on my own, been with producers on my own, figuring out what it is that I like. And I think working with these various artists and doing features, it gave me that opportunity to just, you know, connect through the music and see how they work on their solo processes, the songwriting, everything. And it was incredible for me to see, you know, the craftsman that Shekinah is, Ricky, Reason, DJ Ganyani, all of these people that I worked with. It was just amazing, and I was always in awe, just sitting in the studio, just to be there, just to be in their presence, and just watching how they work and how the creative process starts for them. And I think through that, I started finding the things that I like, and I would hop onto that, and I would take from this and from that. I'm like, this is what I like. That's what I like here, and that's what I like here. And I formed my sound, which is that also a bit of an Afrofusion, I would say. Yeah, Afrofusion with R&B.
Because it feels like you're describing a travel through, or a journey through travel, right?
Yeah.
It feels like you were traveling, but traveling musically. And then when you travel, you pick up things here, there, you learn from this space and that corner and that part of the world, and then you formulate your own thing.
There we go. That's exactly how it happened.
We're going to play Tembalami in just a moment, a song you dropped recently with Tyler, ICU.
That's right.
You were at the airport the other day.
At the airport where?
Huh? When the box were jetting off.
Yeah, I was there.
And there where you were singing Nkosi Sikelel' Africa.
I'm telling you, it went down.
That was beautiful. But tell me how you felt. And was it the first time that you had done something like that, where you sang the national anthem at an auspicious occasion of that nature?
It was my first, I would say. I mean, I've sung, you know, national anthems, but not ours.
So really? Okay. Before, what anthems were you busy singing, madam?
So I would be called to come and sing the All Blacks their anthem, the Georgian anthem.
That time it's in Cape Town.
It was me. I had to learn, their language and I have to sing their anthem.
You're kidding
Same
me.
with the Georgian anthem. I had to learn that and sing it. And both, countries were so elated. I mean, in Georgia alone, they called me, and it was actually a whole television broadcast. And I was on live television on a video call, and just how these people are so proud of me for singing their Georgian anthem.
That is crazy.
It was insane.
And how did that make you feel?
They were like, you don't even speak the language, but how did you get it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just good at it. And it's like Trevor Noah, they can mimic. Maybe I'm just good at that.
How did you feel? Because here you are as a South African, but you're busy singing other national anthems when your own country hadn't at that point asked you to do the same thing. They didn't ask
me. I mean, I was a little touched, I won't lie, but they had already picked, the act or the artist that was singing the South African anthem. I couldn't hate. I was silently hating. Because I had to do all the hard work, and that's learn another language completely, and because I don't want to offend no one, So I take a lot of pride in making sure that I research properly.
That's
and
incredible.
I find out what it means and everything, and because this was my first time, like I said, singing the SA anthem.
And how was that like?
That was incredible for me. I mean, my mic was muted for the first few seconds, so I thought that was sabotage. But
let's keep it real.
I just kept singing, The only thing I could do was continue singing, otherwise I was gonna be losing it and not know where the music is. So I thought, just be a queen about it and continue singing until they switch you on. And that's exactly how it happened, and the people still went mad. Still went mad. I still got a lot of raves and from the booker as well afterwards, and DMs and stuff. So that was incredible for me.
I love it. And speaking of sport, and before we let you go, because we're out of time, Mariechan, you have
already?
You have a son.
Do you want to see me leave?
Yeah, no, I don't. But you have a son who plays football. And here you are singing for the Boks. Are you a sporty person or?
I'm not really a sporty person. I cringe all the time because I get too emotionally attached to it.
Right. So when your son is playing football, are you on the pitch screaming? Are you on your knees?
No, I'm at a distance on a chair, and then whenever they pass him the ball, I start just trying to do anything else, listen to music or something. Because I'm that mom. I'm always nervous and because I know him as well. I know my son. He's also a bit of a nerve wreck especially when he gets the ball.
Right.
But then he's a great striker, and he's the fastest bunny on the field. So when he scores, oh my gosh!
There you are.
Then
they're gonna nose you.
Then everybody will know who I am. I'm on the field. That is my son.
I love
That's my son, y'all.
I love it. Mariechan, we could chat all day, and you strike me as somebody who would make a 2-hour flight to Cape Town from Joburg a breeze. But we are out of time. I know you got a song with Tyler ICU called Tembalami. It's out. Anything else that you want to put out there that you're busy with?
Just my album. I'm still busy with my album. It's still coming. It's called Proud Mary. But it's gonna have a little bit of everything on there. Not just a piano,
Maybe some jazz, because apparently
maybe not jazz.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love jazz, but maybe not jazz.
Right.
But I'm not gonna give it away. I want people to wait to hear the product, because it would be my first album. I've released one EP actually. I've released only one.
The other
EP.
one was a remix package.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's Cherry Blossom. It's one EP, and this would be my album, my first debut album. So
Love it.
I want people to anticipate that.
Done
I don't
deal.
want to give anything away.
Don't, but give us the music when it's time to put it out.
I will absolutely do that. You'll be the first. I'll give you a copy.
Flava on 947.